For years, the world blamed Kanye West for everything. The public meltdowns, the unfiltered rants, the unpredictable behavior. To most people, he was the reason Kim Kardashian finally walked away. But what if that wasn't the full story? What if the real reason behind their split wasn't about Kanye at all, but about control, image, and power? Because behind the scenes, this wasn't just a failed marriage, it was a carefully calculated move. A strategy to protect a billion-dollar empire. And if you look closely at the timeline, the clues were always there. From Kris' quiet influence to Kim's picture-perfect rebrand just weeks after the divorce, everything seemed well-timed. And what fans are starting to realize, Kim Kardashian didn't just leave Kanye, she outgrew him, and maybe even used him to build something bigger than any relationship could ever offer. But the question is, was it ever really about love? Or was Kanye West just one piece in the most powerful PR machine Hollywood has ever seen? When Kim and Kanye first got together, people were shocked. Not because they didn't make sense visually, but because their reputations were worlds apart. Kanye was a Grammy-winning artist, known for pushing boundaries in fashion, music, and design. Kim was still best known for her reality TV background, tabloid scandals, and that infamous tape. But as soon as they became a couple, everything changed. Kanye didn't just date Kim, he rebranded her. He revamped her fashion, introduced her to high fashion circles, got her on the cover of Vogue, something Anna Wintour had refused for years. It wasn't subtle either. In interviews, Kanye literally said he had to fight to get Kim respected in fashion and culture, and it worked. Suddenly, Kim wasn't just a Kardashian, she was a style icon, a global brand, a future billionaire. But here's the twist most people missed. While everyone was focused on how Kanye boosted Kim's status, Kim was watching, learning, and building. Every public appearance, every photo shoot, every designer connection Kanye opened for her, she turned it into leverage. This wasn't just a romance, it was a strategic alliance, one that helped Kim go from the punchline of late-night jokes to a woman the entire world took seriously. But as Kim's power grew, something started to shift. And what happened next would flip the entire dynamic upside down. At first, Kim and Kanye seemed unstoppable red carpet royalty, shaping pop culture with every move. But behind the glamorous appearances, a storm was quietly brewing. Kanye began acting different. He was tweeting erratically, ranting on stage, publicly supporting politicians that divided fans. Then came 2020, the year everything cracked wide open. Kanye launched a last-minute presidential campaign that felt more like a breakdown than a political move. At his first rally, he revealed deeply personal family matters, including Kim's past decisions about pregnancy on stage, in front of cameras. Kim didn't say much publicly, but in private, she was devastated. The world pointed to Kanye's mental health. Kim issued a rare statement, calling him brilliant but complicated and asking for compassion. But her silence grew louder over time. She stopped defending him. She stopped appearing beside him. She quietly pulled away, all while presenting an image of calm control. At the same time, Kim's own empire was exploding. Her shapewear brand Skims became a billion-dollar business. Her law school journey was being documented. She was landing magazine covers alone, without Kanye. The spotlight shifted not by accident, but by design. Kanye was spiraling, Kim was soaring, and fans began asking the question no one dared say out loud. Was she waiting for the right moment to leave? Because the timing of what came next, it was just too perfect. If there's one thing the world has learned about the Kardashians, it's this: nothing is ever accidental. And behind every brand deal, every storyline, every sudden shift, there's one person quietly pulling the strings. Kris Jenner. While Kim and Kanye's relationship was unraveling in public, Kris was working quietly in the background. Insiders say she had been pushing Kim to create distance from Kanye for years, long before the divorce ever became official. Why? Because Kanye wasn't just unpredictable, he was uncontrollable. You can't manage someone who doesn't follow the script, and for Kris, that was a massive problem. The Kardashian brand is built on control of image, timing, messaging. Kanye didn't fit that model anymore. He was bad for business. There were whispers inside the industry that Kris didn't just support the split, she planned it. One source even said Kris was done with Kanye before Kim was. She told Kim to protect the brand, and when you look at the timing, it makes sense. As Kanye unraveled in front of the media, Kim's brand only got cleaner. Kris ensured that Kim's transformation into a solo mogul was polished, sympathetic, and powerful. No chaos, no mess, just a mother doing what she had. to do, and just like that, the public stopped asking questions about Kanye's pain and started cheering for Kim's comeback. But the next phase of the plan, that's when everything became too perfect to ignore. When Kim finally filed for divorce in February 2021, the headlines made it sound like a breaking point, but when fans looked closer, the timing felt planned down to the day. Think about it. Just weeks before the filing, Kim had dropped a massive Skims collection, one of the most successful launches in the brand's history. Right after, she landed a major Vogue cover, solo, no Kanye in sight. Within months, Kim was being praised as a single mother, a business mogul, and a future lawyer, all while Kanye was spiraling further into controversy. And it wasn't just public sympathy, it was public strategy. The divorce wasn't messy. There were no legal battles, no public breakdowns from Kim's side. Everything was smooth, clean, perfectly curated for cameras, almost like the divorce had been in motion, long before the paperwork ever hit the court. Then came the Hulu deal. Shortly after the split, the Kardashians announced their brand new series with Hulu, and guess what? The first season focused on Kim's emotional journey through divorce, her heartbreak, her strength, her reinvention. The cameras caught it all, or at least what they wanted us to see. And just like that, the entire world was watching Kim's rebirth, while Kanye faded into the role of the unstable ex. To some, it looked like healing. To others, it looked like the final act of a perfectly scripted performance. As the dust settled from the divorce, Kim didn't take a break. She leveled up, and it wasn't by accident. It was a full-blown reinvention. She launched a new chapter. Kim, the visionary, the billionaire, the lawyer, the mother who could do it all. Suddenly, interviews weren't about Kanye. They were about criminal justice reform. She was sitting in the White House, studying for the bar exam, helping free inmates, and doing it all in designer heels and flawless glam. The tabloids went from Kimmy chaos to Kim's glop, and people ate it up, and the businesses, they skyrocketed. Skims turned into a billion-dollar empire. Her beauty brand relaunched. She signed major deals with fashion houses that once turned her away, the same ones Kanye fought to get her into. Even the way she spoke changed, slower, calmer, more deliberate. She went from reality TV star to respectable elite, almost overnight. And here's what makes it all so calculated. This rebrand didn't start after the divorce. It started during the final years of their marriage. While Kanye was unraveling in the public eye, Kim was already building her solo narrative carefully, quietly, and flawlessly taught to the outside world. She was just moving on. But to those watching closely, it looked like she had planned her exit and her rebirth. And that rebirth came at a price Kanye couldn't escape. While Kim's star kept rising, Kanye was spinning out of control publicly, painfully, and in real time. He took to social media with cryptic messages. He lashed out at her new relationships. He accused the Kardashians of keeping him away from his kids. He even shared private texts, posted wild conspiracy theories, and called out everyone from Kris Jenner to Pete Davidson. And what did Kim do? Nothing. She stayed silent, poised, untouched. Her image stayed squeaky clean, while Kanye looked more unstable with every post. He wasn't just losing his grip on the narrative, he was being written out of it entirely. And the backlash was brutal. Media outlets that once praised Kanye for his genius now labeled him as dangerous and unwell. Former fans turned away. Brands cut ties. Even longtime friends distanced themselves. And while no one denies Kanye's struggles with mental health, many began to wonder, was he pushed to this breaking point? Was he abandoned when he needed support the most? Because here's what stings. The same man who helped Kim transform her public image was now being portrayed as the villain in the story of her rise. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. Kim was reborn, Kanye was collapsing, and the timing, again, couldn't have been more convenient. But the darkest theory, it was never about support or betrayal, because according to some fans, Kanye was never supposed to last. Here's where things take a turn. Not in the tabloids, but in the minds of fans who've been watching this story unfold like a perfectly directed movie. Because what if Kanye was never the endgame? What if Kim knew, from the very beginning, that this relationship had an expiration date? There's a theory gaining traction online, and it's not just from random internet threads. Even industry insiders are starting to whisper that Kim didn't just fall out of love. She calculated her way out of the relationship once it no longer served her image. Think about it. When they got together, Kim was still climbing, still trying to shake off the reality TV stigma, and he was respected, influential, already a giant in music and fashion. He gave her more than love. He gave her access to designers, to magazines, two circles that had laughed at her just years earlier, and once she reached the top, once she was accepted, branded, and untouchable, she no longer needed Kanye at her side. Some even claim the entire relationship was part of the Kardashian brand evolution, a temporary chapter to elevate her public image, then close it cleanly when it started to damage the empire. And the biggest sign? How easily she walked away. No public meltdowns, no messy legal wars, just a silent, perfectly timed exit, and a brand new storyline waiting to roll out on Hulu. To some, it looked like strength. To others, it looked like cold precision. So was Kanye West a partner, or a carefully chosen piece in the most powerful PR machine Hollywood has ever seen? In the end, this wasn't just a divorce, that it was a masterclass in image control. And maybe, emotional survival. Kim Kardashian didn't just walk away from Kanye West, she walked into a new version of herself, one with more power, more respect, and less chaos. On Kanye, he didn't just lose a wife, he lost the spotlight, the sympathy, and the stability that once made him untouchable. The same man who helped her rise was now being left behind in a storm of his own making. Or maybe, one he was never meant to survive. So, was this all just a tragic love story between two flawed people? Or was it something darker, a calculated shift, a long game move where the heart was never really the point? Because when you look past the headlines, when you strip away the PR, the glam, the silence, you're left with one haunting question. Did Kim ever really love Kanye, or did she love what he could do for her?